Hi gang, so in this video I'm going to show you what I like to do for my base makeup. So typically what people will use is foundation, concealer, and then depending on your personal preference in makeup, you might go in with some contour, etc. In 2020 I kind of delved into different kinds of products and I found things like this. These are from House of Glamdolls. This is the GlamBase wheel and this is the GlamLift wheel for kind of correcting dark under eye circles. And if you are a makeup artist, this might make a little bit more sense. If you are a makeup artist and you have to do makeup for various people, not everyone has the same skin tone, and therefore you would need to mix and match shades in order to customize the perfect shade for the person that you're doing makeup on. Our skin is not one tone throughout the face. There will be areas of redness, maybe some darker under eye circles, maybe some discoloration in certain parts of the face, scarring left over from acne. So when it comes to these cream palettes, it's very versatile because you can mix and match the shade to become your perfect skin tone. You may tan in certain parts of the year and get fairer in other parts of the year. So House of Glamdolls, I'm not entirely sure how easy it is to get your hands on these products depending on where you reside. House of Glamdolls is a UK brand, and depending on your personal skin tone, this may not cut it for you. So I would recommend looking at the Il Makiage MaqPro palettes. So these are the Fard crème. This particular one is the Slim AB03, so you can check that out. I'm pretty sure Il Makiage is a little bit easier to get a hold of. I have seen them on various kind of professional makeup artist sites. That doesn't mean you have to be a professional makeup artist to buy these things. It's just that a lot of their products are geared more towards professional makeup artists. So you will see, and I will throw up on the screen right here, the various different kinds of palettes. They have all sorts of things from special effects to just regular kind of flesh tones. They do also have things like a six pan palettes, which are a little bit more towards just regular skin tones. So all the way from fair to deeper skin tones. That I think would be a great place to start if you're interested in this kind of thing. And also if you find yourself really hard to match when it comes to foundation, these palettes can be a great tool to help you, eventually get the right shade match just by you actually mixing the shades yourself. So it will take a little bit of time for you to get used to using these things. What I like to do is I take a little kind of spatula, take some of the product on the back of my hand and mix it on the back of my hand because the warmth kind of helps it to meld together better. These have some kind of more outlandish shades. As you can see, there's a lavender, there's something that looks kind of like an odd greenish tinge to it. And then there's this bright orange. So this is more, I think, for color correction. And then you can mix the shades accordingly to get the right tone to color correct, let's say, dark under eye circles. So usually when it comes to darker under eye circles, you would go in with, depending on how deep your skin is, if you're really fair, a very light, like salmon pink. And if you have deeper skin tones, you may go more into the orange, or depending on how cool or warm your skin is, you may go more into kind of a reddish type of color corrector. I personally really enjoy the House of Glamdolls GlamBase wheels. This is the GlamBase wheel Bespoke edit for Arabic and Asian skin tones. And this one is the GlamLift wheel, which I think is a great product. I really enjoy this. I actually can use this just by itself without even having to go into this. This can give me a good outcome, but this to correct my under eye circles is really great. So let me just show you what I do. I take the little spatula, I go into the product, I kind of dig up a little bit of each of the shades that I want to use. And you don't really need a lot. If you want to sheer out this formula, you can always use some sort of mixing medium. You can just use a face moisturizer. That works really great. You could also use kind of face oils. So this is my favorite tool to apply under the eyes. This is the Zoeva 146 Concealer Perfector brush. So I usually mix these three shades together. A little bit more with the kind of salmon type of tones. And then I go under the eye to kind of color correct. So the one that's a little bit more kind of, let's say yellow in tone, does a lot of lifting for my personal skin tone. And so that's why I go in a little bit more with the two base peach colors. But there is kind of the difference there. Okay, so let me go in with the other eye. And this is usually what I do. I will do my eye makeup first. And then I go in with the foundation and concealer. But I have been really enjoying using these wheels, these cream palettes, instead of just foundation and concealer, because I find that it's definitely more customizable, and you can really target certain areas for the effect that you want. So that is the under eye circles, and then we come to the redness of my nose. So usually when it comes to color correction, the theory is that green cancels out red because they are on the opposite sides of the color wheel, right? But I personally find that a lot of green color correctors leave kind of this green cast on the face, and it's not the most flattering, and then you have to cover it up with some foundation anyway, so that it doesn't look like you have green stuff on your face. So I personally like to go in with something a little bit more yellow based, because yellow is kind of close to green on the color wheel, and I find that it works for me. So again, depending on your particular skin tone, you might need to edit this to suit you better. So let me just go in there. So that's my redness right here. Let me zoom you in. Welcome to my pores. So there's that redness kind of covered up just a little bit. If you are deeper than me, then, you know, and you buy this particular palette or this particular palette, you may have to adjust the tone just a little bit. And also, case in point, you see these two shades down here. These are very orange tones. So I don't really use this. I thought maybe I could use them as, let's say, a contour shade, but I put it on my face and it was just straight up orange. So if you see those tones right there, I could use it as maybe like an orange blush, or mix it in with something a little bit more gray tone to create maybe like a bronzer shade. But these are definitely very, very orange. So these are perfect for much deeper skin tones if you want to cancel out your dark under eye circles. And then here I have a little bit of redness on my cheeks, well, not really my cheeks. And so I just kind of go in there and try to color correct. So if I just use this shade right here, just this shade, it's a bit too bright for me. And this is why I kind of mix it in with the other two shades. But when it comes to kind of this area, the reddish areas right here, I use this in a higher ratio than these two. And when I go for my dark under eye circles, I use more of these kind of salmon colors to color correct the under eyes. I do kind of go back and forth with those shades, kind of mixing them together and creating something in the middle of the forehead, down the bridge of the nose. And this is a very small brush. Obviously you can use a bigger brush if you like. This area does look a little bit deeper in tone because I have kind of lifted the areas here, here, and here. So I'm just going to go over that area just a bit. I have some discoloration right here. That's just my natural skin pigmentation. In the middle, this is usually more red, so I go in a little bit more with that yellow based shade. And around there, I use a little bit more of that peach kind of shade. And for the rest of the face, I usually just leave it without any of these tones. So I'm going to use this shade right here. This one is kind of the deepest shade. Actually, you know what? Let me just put it right on my face. I'll just dot it accordingly how I want that contour to look. And then, whoopsie. I'll go in with a little bit of a bigger brush because I'm covering a little bit more area here. And I don't really need to be that precise. So that's the contour. And I usually use a synthetic brush like this. This one is the Zoeva 110 face shape. These brushes, the ones from Zoeva, they actually do a really good job. This one is the 102 silk finish. This one is great if you like bigger brushes or you just have a larger face. Well, I don't know if my face is necessarily small, but I do have small features, and therefore, you know, I want something a little bit more detailed, a little bit smaller. I mean, quite a bit smaller. This is the 110 face shape brush. I love this one as well. I use this all the time. If I'm going in with concealer, I usually like this brush. This one is the 146 Concealer Perfector. So these are kind of the same type of density and material of brush. Looney! For the sake of this video, let's try to use these shades mixed in with the other one as a bronzer. So I'm just going to take the lighter kind of orange shade and then mix in with that contour shade. I usually do like to powder to set this in place. It does kind of disintegrate a little bit, so setting with powder is always a good thing. I use this Fluffy Matte Flat Perfection by Neve Cosmetics. This is a really cute compact. It has this, it looks like a bit like a shell. This is a translucent shade, but it does give a little bit of a matte finish. All of the House of Glamdolls wheels, they all come with a highlighter in the middle, but most of them will have this glow shade, which is this like kind of light champagne shade, which I think will go well with many skin tones. It's very universally flattering in my opinion. So it's just a little bit of glimmer. It's not too harsh. And it can go nicely on deep skin tones as well as fairer skin tones. Now that I found these palettes, I definitely would pick these over foundation. I find them a lot more versatile. If you think about it, if you have problems matching foundation shades to your skin tone, and you also kind of, you know, go through periods of being fairer in certain parts of the year and tanner in certain parts of the year, something like this does really address those problems. That's it from me, and ciao for now.